faces in this endless tower. I'm curious. What will you take from here?
Endless war rages on. Governments and civilizations as they once were begin falling apart one by one, and the environment itself is beginning to decay. The world is nearing its death, and in a final effort to fix it, humanity created a solution that would inevitably make everything a million times worse. Hello and welcome to the Absolute Gamecast. Today I'll be discussing the new co-op survival escape game Anchored, a game developed by Quantum Link Art and released on Roblox June 13th, 2025. One that even as soon as my first play session has become one of my new Roblox favorites. Before I get into the finer details, this video will contain minor story spoilers for Anchored, so if you want to experience the story blind, please go do so yourself and then come back and watch this video later.
Through this mission, you're currently in the anchorage, deep in enemy territory. Their system to progress and stay out of sight. Every floor gets more dangerous.
You're trapped within the anchorage, a tall tower controlled by an indifferent rogue AI. The halls are lifeless and mostly devoid of color. Monitors and servers litter almost every floor. No matter where you are, you're being watched, studied by the very threat you're here to stop. Your goal seems simple on paper. You and your team wander desolate floors, locating and hacking various security panels. However, you're not alone. Various drones and mechanical sentinels roam the floors, restlessly monitoring every nook and cranny, attacking on sight at the slightest sense of unauthorized activity. The only method to avoid detection is to run and hide behind one of the props scattered across the room and stay out of their line of sight, keeping in mind that your stamina is limited, so you need to find a hiding place as fast as possible. Once you locate a panel, you perform a series of randomized skill checks, such as memorizing a sequence, matching colors, entering a numerical code, and most cruel of all, basic math. Failing any of these skill checks results in you being booted out and taking a small amount of damage. Once all the panels on a given floor have been hacked, you make a mad dash to the elevator and repeat the cycle on the next floor. Sometimes, after finishing a floor, you'll arrive at a small shop run by Noel. Here you can use currency called ciphers you've collected to buy items that help you locate panels or enemies, provide stat boosts, or restore your health when it's low. Most of these items can also be found on the ground during rounds as well, but it never hurts to stock up between floors.
You were factored into the equation before you even existed. Yet you climb. Yet you struggle.
As you continue to progress, the lighting in the elevator occasionally goes red, signifying the start of a sort of boss fight. This happens every 7 floors and is likely one of the biggest challenges you'll face on your way up. The floor consists of 4 segments, each with 8 panels, and a stealth puzzle connecting each segment to the next. First, you dodge moving lasers, then follow a straight narrow line over the void, and for the final puzzle you have to ride across moving platforms. You need to move with the platforms and match your speed or else you'll fall into the void below. As you pass from segment to segment, a red spotlight will circle the room. If you're spotted, you'll be shot, so you need to wait to ensure your path is clear. The order of the midsection puzzles is seemingly always the same, so it's easy to memorize the pattern after a few runs. Once you complete all the segments, you're given a short time to make your way back through the stealth puzzles again and return to the elevator. This game is so much fun in my opinion. Unlike similar games like Dandy's World, which I'm also a fan of to be fair, the skill checks have a lot more variety, so you never know what tasks you have to complete to hack a panel, preventing most of the monotony you might expect to encounter in this situation. The first time I played Anchored, the constant tension of trying to quickly perform skill checks while avoiding enemies who could be right around the corner instilled a sense of anxiety in me that very few games have in a good while. To me, no enemy encapsulates this idea better than the drones. These things are honestly the bane of my existence. They fly around patrolling every last corner of a room, and if they happen to see you, they start blasting. Most of them don't even do a lot of damage, but with how fast they are and how quickly they fire, your health will plummet fast if you don't run for cover ASAP. I've also been told that one of them is bigger and black, and it one-shots you on sight, so since I don't know exactly what it looks like, I'm constantly forced to treat every black drone I see as if it's the one-shot one, which really trips my anxiety even further. Every time I leave the elevator and I hear My heartbeat goes into overdrive because I just know it's going to be rough trying to avoid the drones and finish my tasks without being spotted. Aside from that though, climbing floors and making progress is still very fun to me overall. My current record at the time of writing is 12 floors out of 100, so I haven't seen the ending, but I plan on continuing playing the game and practicing to reach the end eventually. For some final gameplay advice, I recommend buying Flippy from Scruff's shop between attempts. Compared to other climbers who require you to complete each character's mastery quests, he's relatively cheap to get, only requiring you to hack 10 panels and can then be purchased for 200 lumen, which is easy to get if you make it past floor 7. Flippy is a great character for all skill levels, as his ability lets you instantly hack a single panel as long as your team's floor progress is below 50%. This is extremely helpful because especially in the lower floors it allows you to give your team a head start and can help finish floors much faster. What's even better is if you're on a team with multiple Flippies, the ability stacks as long as you're below 50%. Because of the sheer usefulness of his ability, most tier lists I've seen list Flippy as an S tier character, and for how easy he is to get, I'd argue he's well worth the price.
Get it together.
But you may be asking, what is the anchorage? Why are we here? Well, picking up the documents and discs scattered around the anchorage is the best way to answer that. However, I'll recap the basics that lead up to the start of the game for those who want all the information in one place quicker. As mentioned at the top of this video, due to greed and corruption, the world was falling apart. Endless wars broke out, civilization started to collapse, and climate change started eating away at the world. Existence became a constant struggle to survive, and it was clear that something needed to change. Things took a dark turn when an organization created an AI to bring back the structure humanity craved. Life did become more structured for a time, and potentially violent threats were neutralized before they could do any damage, prematurely preventing all wars. But eventually the AI began to see thoughts and feelings as inefficient, as they usually do, and began implanting neural chips into everyone's heads, eliminating humanity's free will entirely. The anchorage was eventually constructed around the AI's core to shield it from harm as it continued to grow. Scruff and Leon, two people who had initially helped in the AI's creation, began feeling like they had crossed a line and defected to try to clean up the mess they made. They find a huge group of survivors discarded by the AI for their perceived imperfections, and begin the journey to ascend the anchorage, destroy the AI once and for all, and return the free will that was stolen from humanity. Many climbers, as they would come to be called, have died in service of their mission, but the team still desperately holds on to hope that they'll reach the top and free the human race. But without the AI, it's likely that society will eventually crumble again, so the question becomes, is free will worth the risk of another societal collapse, or should the AI remain in power to hold off the inevitable at the cost of humanity's freedom? The story of Anchored is super deep, and while some parts of it may hit some pretty typical plot beats that similar stories do, I feel like it does a good enough job of making them stand out and make the hunt for the lore well worth it. The gray area narrative is very interesting and refreshing to experience, and allows you to form your own thoughts and feelings on the story's conflict without necessarily condemning those on either side. Overall, I definitely recommend checking out Anchored if you have the means. The game has only been out for a short time, but already shows a lot of promise, and I'd love to see it be recognized for the potential it has. The game has also been updated twice since I started writing this video, so it's clearly being actively worked on, and will likely have a lot of new content to come back to for a good while. I think that's about all I have to say for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Not gonna force you, do what you want. Thanks for tuning in, and that's the video. Bye.